Welcome to the Light in the Darkness ViDoc, which just got released nearly an hour ago. It's 13 minutes long, just over that actually, and I've seen literally the first frame because I was testing the recording, and there's like Ikora walking down on Mars, and I'm ready. So this is literally just going to be me reacting to it. I don't know how long this is going to end up being, but I imagine about 20 minutes. So here we go.
I know what you're wondering. What is true and what is false?
What?
The Witch Queen is an unsettling mystery. Our biggest foe, Savathun, has our grandest tool, the light.
It's paying off narrative threads that we planted way back in Destiny 1.
I'm here to protect humanity.
How do we stop this?
The stakes in the universe are rising.
Everyone's
it's the greatest
there.
challenge that we've ever faced.
There's Saladin and
We're shedding that
Earth.
dogma of light equals good, darkness equals bad. We're really
kind of
entering
thought that's
the
what they were doing.
mists and trying to discern what's in front of us and what's lurking just underneath the surface.
whoa,
What is your truth now?
the worm
There are a
god.
lot of bombshells in the Witch Queen narrative,
That's what we like.
and that's just scratching the surface of what we're going to get into this year.
I'm just gonna pause this as we're going through, and if there's anything I want to talk about, because I mean that's up for the whole thing's at Mars. Okay, I'm just gonna pause it here. Look at how cool this looks. Like, obviously this is Mars. What are like the wavy things around it? Is that meant to be like darknessy stuff? Because the last thing we know about Mars is that it's gone. Like, Mars doesn't exist as far as we're concerned. The darkness has taken it over. And where Mars used to be, there's just like a void. So the fact that Mars is back is big just by itself, and they're just completely glossing over it. So the fact that Mars is back is huge to me. Whether it's the new Mars from Destiny 2, the old Mars from Destiny 1, or something completely different, it'd be a bit weird if there was a third version of Mars, but regardless, it's pretty cool.
Witch Queen and Season of the Risen is chapter 1 and the beginning of the end.
Also, Season of the Risen, I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm sorry if it gets annoying, but it's called Season of the Risen, which I thought it was gonna be Cabal themed, because that's what the seasonal ornaments seem to be, but the Season of the Risen makes sense considering all the
The
hype.
Light and Darkness saga.
We're really getting to the core of what it means to be a guardian.
Also, the animation looks
Looking
really
at and
good
asking
here.
big questions about the light and darkness.
We have a big bad that we've been anticipating for a really long time coming back in the form of Savathun.
Savathun's had a hand in most of the major conflicts that we've been involved with.
Yeah.
We've heard about Savathun for years and just bits and pieces, and then like you see it slowly building over seasons until we come to this huge critical point.
Savathun's no longer just someone you hear about.
She's not just interfering in little ways. She's now ready to take center stage.
Oh, that's the epilogue thing?
1, 2, 3. Savathun, she's larger than life. We wanted to make her feel imposing and very regal and dancing through
is this the
motion in some
milk?
way.
The light offers us a fresh start.
She's very manipulative. She
That's
is
cool.
very ethereal, but she also has like that creepiness to her as well.
She promised she'd help us out with this pyramid ship problem that's coming our way. But the reality of the situation is Savathun is
This is such a cool shot. I love this so much. Oh, Anna's back. That's cool. Because you've got Zavala, I'm assuming Ikora's over here somewhere. Obviously us. Shax, Anna, Saint, Eris, and Saladin. I still wonder if we're getting Osiris back, but I highly doubt it, to be honest. But you never know. But I'm really glad to see Eris is here. I wonder if Drifter will make an appearance, considering he's part of like the Dark Vanguard technically, or the Stranger.
only on Savathun's side. We've outlived our purpose, and it is to Savathun's benefit to wipe us off that chessboard.
She's lived among us. She has played us for fools. She knows us inside and out. And she's been a step ahead of us, like, the whole way. So how do you beat someone like that?
It isn't too late. You can still be forgiven. Be careful.
I'll hold you to it.
In order to beat Savathun, you need to understand Savathun.
The throne world.
Her throne world is a manifestation of Savathun's own personality, which is in Witch Queen going through a transformation through the light.
She has these areas that she's kind of trying to shun and push away. For the old hive areas, it's much more atmospheric, it's very dense, it's very claustrophobic, it's spooky.
Pyramid.
Then when you make your way into the Lucent hive area, it's a lot more open and broad. It's definitely brighter, it's definitely more lively.
We want people to look at it like an impressionist painting, something that's very pretty from far away, but as you get closer, it's not really what it seems. It's very unsettling.
Oh, I love that. Can I see that again, please? This is amazing. I love this sort of stuff. I hope that there's loads of that in the campaign or in like wee side quests and stuff, because this sort of thing, incredible and incredibly creepy.
You're looking at shapes, you're looking at these things within the world, and you're not entirely sure what they are, and you have to get close and you have to investigate.
What's really going to be exciting for players is that they're going to get to play that
The
part
animation
of
looks so good.
psychic detective, trying to solve the many mysteries of the throne world.
Well, that's cool.
Witch Queen campaign, I think, is probably the most ambitious campaign we've made in a very long time.
We're building the definitively Destiny campaign, so leaning into the journey you can find in exotic missions or the mechanics you might find in a dungeon.
You have to kind of think your way through. You have to figure out, like, hey, what do I need to do next in order to get to the end of this?
We've got Savathun, right? The Queen of Lies. So this campaign is full of surprises.
Savathun has all these abilities, and you got to make sure that all of the abilities of the bosses would be something worthy of her.
It's gonna be
and
so
as I kept
strange.
thinking about this, you know, I felt like I was really becoming Savathun.
Fighting against... Oh, I like this. It's gonna be so strange fighting against a hive that can use the light abilities like zippers and the throne world map, which I mean you can't see much, but like, I don't know, regional chests, drop zone. That's a pretty cool symbol. Oh! Maybe Mars isn't a new destination. Maybe it is literally just a mission. Because if they're showing it here, then that must just be a mission you can replay. That's kind of sad that it isn't a explorable area. Or patrol area even. Aw. I suppose you never know. I don't know if they haven't said about any other locations coming back. But I think there is something about them bringing back 2 locations at a time. Like bringing back one location and then adding a brand new one. In this case it would be the throne world, then something else, maybe Mars? I have no idea. But cool. It's still going to be cool to see Mars at least, and there's a lost sector up there.
We've also added the legendary difficulty, which is called Become Legend.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's gonna be loaded with these moments that are gonna be frustrating, almost like teeth gnashing, but when you get through those encounters, you're gonna feel like really accomplished.
Double rewards, yeah.
As people who have worked on raids and dungeons before, being able to broaden that experience for any kind of player who comes in is really important.
If the Witch Queen is the psychic detective, fantasy and journey, then season...
Cabal? Are those Keitel ships? On the moon, is that?
of the Risen is that same detective
Yeah,
throwing
it's
on
the
their
moon.
flak jacket and defending Earth from the Hive Guardians and the Lucent Hive and Savathun herself.
Crow. Oh, it's cool. The crow's going to be in
When
it.
Savathun shows up on
Makes
our
sense.
doorstep with the light, the first person to lend us help is Keitel.
Oh.
You want us to hit them?
I need us to hit them.
She's got this light suppressing technology that the Cabal were using in season of The Chosen. Now she's going to help us use that against the Lucent Hive.
When
That
you're
makes
working
a
with
lot of sense.
Kaya she has a different approach. It's not about asking questions, it's about getting in there and extracting.
We don't really understand what happened when Savathun actually was able to take the light. And so the campaign in Season of the Risen in many ways is about that story. Guardians need to stop Savathun's advance beyond the throne world. And
Yeah.
Savathun poses an existential threat to everyone because she basically has an undead army.
Of which we basically are.
In fighting the Lucent Brood, this isn't our first time in the game fighting other light bearers, but it is the first time that we'll be facing other light bearers that have much more relentless.
See, that's so cool, because it's literally a hunter, pretty much. That is Hive. Like, it's so strange. Well, maybe a warlock. I don't actually know, because maybe it's coming. I don't know. They probably don't really go for classes.
Less motives.
Like,
When
so
you look
cool.
at these Hive Guardians and when they do their abilities, you immediately make that connection like, oh, they are using my powers against me. As soon as we see the Knight pop its super and it has 2 shields, you immediately are like, oh yeah, I see that connection. And then it's like, and then you're like, it hits you with those things and then you're dead. And it's just an amazing experience.
The Guardians themselves kind of feel like a fire team that you're fighting against. You got every class represented.
The Acolyte, when that character casts, does very similar thing as the player, like the Arc Wizard. The sparks go out, it's ready to go. If you're not smart about it, if you're not paying attention, you are essentially going to have to play that fight over again.
If you're successful in taking down one of these Hive units that are wielding the light, you actually have to go up and kill their ghosts.
That was like one of my favorite things that we were able to do in this game, is just that moment where you crush the ghost.
I wonder.
It's kind of this moral dilemma. A ghost is your companion, and now suddenly you have one in your hand and you're about to crush it.
The first time it happens, you're like looking at your hand like, I can't believe what I've just done. Am I doing this? Should I be doing this?
I have a ghost.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What
Like,
is going
I wonder if the ability to crush the ghosts is because of just us crushing the ghosts, like it's just a pure strength thing, or if it's because of the Cabal having the light suppressing technology, because as far as I'm aware, nothing can really destroy a ghost other than extremely, like, I don't know, like a thorn round or something like that. And therefore, for us just to saunter up and destroy this ghost, it's either because they're basically just cheap copies, because there's Savathun Hive ghosts, or is it something else? It just seems a bit weird, but then the ghosts don't look like ours either, so maybe it's just that they're copies. Like knockoffs.
Savathun and her Lucent Brood are the most dangerous enemies we've faced so far. And so we're going to need better, more powerful weapons and tools to fight against that threat.
We did a bunch of work early on looking at various different types of weapons we could add to the sandbox.
We wanted to introduce a special weapon archetype that was effective more at a middle range, but also had these kind of additional roles associated with it.
Glaive.
The glaive is a projectile weapon, and it is a shield, and it's a melee weapon. We wanted to keep that experience in first person.
That is
It has an
pretty cool.
immediacy that you don't really get when you're using a sword because the camera is so much further back. Because this is also a projectile weapon with a slower moving projectile, the onus of skill on aiming these weapons is about leading,
That
compensating
does
for
look
the speed of
incredible.
the projectile and anticipating that. If you're in a really difficult encounter and one of your teammates dies somewhere out in the open where you normally wouldn't be able to get to them, you can bring that shield up and actually get the revive and then fall back.
Wonder if it's an energy or heavy weapon. I'm
Glaives
sure this will be known,
originate
but
with Savathun trying to steal an extremely powerful weapon for her own use, and players will use the weapon crafting recipes that they find throughout the campaign in order to reconstruct this incredibly powerful and incredibly ancient weapon.
When you put together your glaive in the campaign, you just get a taste that that's what you want to do for the rest of the weapons that you get.
Weapon crafting lets you target a specific role and go and build that, and you know how long it's going to take you to get there, and you get exactly the thing that you want.
I do like that
really
idea.
want to see what people do with it,
Energy,
and like
okay.
the feedback that we're gonna get, and people sharing all of the things that they're doing with
Oh, you
that
can
new
make the
system.
exact
You're
rules.
creating
Okay,
your
then.
guardian, and you want to be able to shape your guardian into what you want them to be. And this gives us a great opportunity to continue to do that.
This is a really big season for weapons in particular. We've got 8 brand new exotics. The
That's
Osteostriga exotic submachine gun. This is something which Guardians have made, but it's modeled after weapons of sorrow, like Thorn and Touch of Malice. Fires swarms of tiny homing projectiles that land on a target and then explode in this poison burst.
Oh.
We have an exotic machine gun where the whole idea is be the Colossus. You can launch a barrage of up to 20 homing missiles.
It's a comical amount of projectiles on the screen.
That's cool.
We're doing an exotic glaive for each class this time, and the exotic perks tie deeply into the mechanics of the classes. We think they're going to be really cool additions to build crafting.
Nice.
We've got, the usual suite of raid weapons, destination, activity, seasonal. I recounted it this morning. I think it's about 50 new weapons.
50
You're
new
going to have
weapons.
2 new exotic armor for each class, totaling 6, 1 stasis, 1 non-stasis. The Titan stasis exotic. Cast your barricade, and instead of, this Traveler's Light and the Rally Barricade, you create a giant wall of ice. Even though this thing is massive, you still get all the benefits of Rally Barricade.
Oh, wow.
Warlock Void exotic. We called them the Devouring Rift legs because we wanted Empowering Rift to feel like it had a place in endgame content the way that Healing Rift does. Empowering Rift doesn't heal you. Well, what if it did?
In Season 16, you're going to see a massive revamp to the Void subclass system across all 3 classes. This is a huge update and will allow players to build craft in ways that they've never done before.
I like
One
this.
of the things we wanted to do is create a core set of verbs like we did with stasis.
Anyone can run suppressors now. I think that's the pretty cool thing to be able to do.
I'm going to be running suppressor grenade
Oh,
probably.
We wanted you to feel like you were the energy vampire, feel like you were the Night Stalker, feel like you were that protector, that big Sentinel Titan. So you're going to see things like Bastion, a new Titan aspect, where you take your big old Sentinel shield, slam it into the ground, and create this void barricade that's going to apply overshield to you and your buddies.
My favorite
That's
aspect
cool.
is probably Child of the Old Gods. As this warlock controlling space and time, I'm able to rip a hole into another dimension and then pull out this little sentient black hole. Whenever I target an enemy, my little black hole buddy is gonna fly over there and start draining their life force.
Oh, wow.
The Void 3.0 update is really setting the stage for how we're thinking about updating the subclasses for the rest of the year.
We're going to extend this philosophy to Solar and Arc. Solar obviously is going to be about burning, but there's this other component to Solar, and that's healing. Arc is all about chaining. It's all about lightning, direct attacks, quickness.
I have 2 takes on this.
We're going to take the fantasies that you know and love today. We're going to embellish them. So what you'll see is all of the new abilities, all of the new actions you take.
They teleport? I kind of like that they teleported there for a second. I have 2 takes on this. One is I'm going to miss the old way the classes are because, I don't know, I just will. Because I've been in the game for many years at this stage. But on the other hand, I'm going to love it so much to be able to customize exactly what I want. Because so often it's you pick this super, but then you have to have this ability or these other things, and you can't change it. The only thing you can mix and match is your jump or your dodge or your class ability or your jump or your grenade or whatever like that. But being able to actually customize everything individually is going to be so nice. And I know we've had that with stasis, but with the light subclasses, it's going to be so nice. And I can't wait to actually try the void ones because I main usually Night Stalker, so it's going to be really cool to see that.
Force that to the core. Pretty excited about it.
Witch Queen is very much the culmination of the last 6 to 7 years of just Destiny altogether. And really, this is starting the road to the final showdown. But things aren't necessarily just dark and light anymore. There's a lot more nuance in the game.
The animation looks
It's
so
gonna be a real
good.
fight. Players have something that they're really going to be challenged by.
I can't wait for everyone to find out what's been going on with Savathun. I'm excited.
You Guardians are so clever, aren't you?
From the throne world to the campaign to the customizable build crafting, it all comes together to make Destiny feel really new and fresh.
We've got more Destiny coming this year than any other year before. It's one of the most ambitious releases we've ever put together, and the team is firing on all cylinders.
See, part of me is this, that's great. I love that. I love it, more Destiny, great. On the other hand, I'm they say that every year, I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, it looks really good, and the campaign seems incredible, and I love that they're adding aspects, that they're pulling aspects from the dungeons and raids and stuff, but into the campaign, because the campaigns usually are kind of just you go through it and it's story content, but it's never really that challenging. I mean, it can be if you're under-leveled, but usually it's just the story experience. So it would be nice to have aspects that are puzzly and this sort of trickery aspect that Savathun is. So that'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to that a lot. And then all the new exotics and everything. The art direction looks incredible. The animations look, for some reason, so smooth. Better than they have been even recently, which seems really weird, but I like it a lot. And I like that, from what it looks like from this short glimpse, that everyone's involved, or like a lot more people than I thought it would be. Because I was thinking it would just be Ikora, maybe Zavala, but the fact that Saladin, CN14, Shax, maybe even Anna Bray, maybe we'll get some information about Rasputin and stuff, that'd be incredible. So it's looking really good. I'm really looking forward to this. There's like 19 seconds left.
Tell me, Guardian, what do you think you're going to do?
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. It looks really cool. I like the idea behind this SMG. That it's basically kind of like a Thorn SMG, I guess, in a way. So that's pretty cool. And you get this you get this for owning the deluxe edition, I think, is what it's saying. But that, like, it looks really cool. It seems like a really cool campaign. I like that they didn't spoil everything there. They still left a lot of things there. There's definitely some things that I had went into blind, like the campaign. I would have been like, oh, like Keitel helping us, but then it's still things which are a bit. It's not that surprising. We are in some sort of agreement with Keitel, therefore she is going to help us, especially since the Hive threaten everything. So makes sense, especially since Keitel also has some sort of personal feud with the Hive. But it looks really cool. Crow obviously is going to be there as well. I'm really interested to see how this season actually ends, which might happen today, like the epilogue thing, because we obviously know what the DLC is about, but there's this weird, like, Savathun is currently encased in crystal. Obviously she escapes and does whatever, but the question is her worm extracted? I assume it is. Does she die and then get brought back with the light? Do we see that at the end of this season? You know, like, what's going on? Also, that ship in Mars looks really cool. And, it seems like a really cool campaign. So I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, fun times. Also, Void 3.0, I think is what they said, because it's been reworked once before, I think. Looks really cool. Maybe it's 2.0, I don't know. But anyway, really looking forward to it. It's going to be really cool. So that's 2 weeks, I think, from today. So I'm looking forward to it. And I mean, Savathun's been properly in the game since the very start of Destiny 2, because like there's been enemies which are something of Savathun, or Savathun something on like Titan and stuff. So the fact that it's actually coming to a conclusion almost, even though I highly doubt Savathun's going to die or that thing's going to be wrapped up in this DLC, more than likely the entire year is going to be about her in some way. But yeah, pretty cool. But anyway, I was right, about 24 minutes. But thanks for watching. I'll put a link to the actual ViDoc in the description, because I know I paused this a few times, which might be a bit annoying. So I'll put it in the description. And yeah, share your thoughts in the comments below, I suppose. And yeah, pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.